the Year Awards ceremony. India is home to over 2 million social entrepreneurs, largest in the world. And we have been fortunate with Schwab Foundation for Social Entrepreneurs and Jubilant Bhartiya Foundation to have played a bit of role in nurturing, supporting and showcasing these social innovators over the last 15 years through this award. I would now invite Mrs. Higde Schwab, Chairperson and Co-Founder of the Schwab Foundation for Social Entrepreneurship, to present our story and to also welcome you all to this award ceremony. Mrs. Schwab.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear social entrepreneurs and dear friends, thank you for the invitation to open this special evening of the Social Entrepreneur of the Year 2024 in India. It's a pleasure to be here tonight and celebrate you, the social entrepreneurs in India, who are creating innovative solutions to the world's most pressing challenges. This year is particularly special in that it also marks the 15th anniversary of the Schwab Foundation's partnership with Jubilant Foundation. And I want to thank Bhartiya, and Ajay Khanna and his whole team for being a wonderful partner of the Schwab Foundation. Let me also thank the members of the jury who, with their knowledge, experience and passion for social entrepreneurship, have again distinguished the most impressive winner of this award. The world is going through a significant transformation. In response to these unsettling challenges, we must embrace bold innovations that guarantee everyone moves forward together. Social enterprise stands at the intersection of business and social good, spearheading innovative solutions that not only generate economic value, but also drive significant social and environmental impact. According to our last report entitled The State of Social Enterprise, we reviewed 10 years of global data, and the findings indicate that there are approximately 10 million social enterprises across the world by women, compared to only 1 in 5 for conventional enterprises. The Indian landscape and its 2 million social enterprises follow these same unique patterns. Social innovators find a new balance between economic efficiency and social and environmental impact. During the COVID pandemic, we highlighted 50 social enterprises that responded to the crisis with very actionable support for the most vulnerable. Their commitment shows how critical the social economy is to drive inclusive growth, sustainable development, and economic resilience, to advance the field of social innovation, allowing us to uplift and empower countless social enterprises in India. This collaboration has deeply enriched our work, transforming it into a shared vision that goes beyond awards. Together, we have built a legacy of hope and progress with those who are shaping a better future for the country. On this note, we also congratulate Jubilant Bhartiya Foundation for establishing the Jubilant Bhartiya Center for Social Impact, which will serve to foster and support social startups and further strengthen the social innovation landscape in India, and I'm sure you will hear more about it. We will continue to explore other tangible ways in which we can support the growth of social entrepreneurship, but today we are celebrating you as outstanding social entrepreneurs who are finding innovative ways to address the most pressing challenges. I commend you for your achievements and congratulate you all for being selected as finalists of the Social Entrepreneur of the Year 2024. I wish you all a beautiful evening and wonderful celebrations.
Shah Bhartiya, the Chairman and Founder of the Jubilant Bhartiya Group, to address us. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Jubilant Bhartiya Foundation, it gives me a great pleasure to welcome you all to the 15th edition of the Social Entrepreneur of the Year award. A very special welcome to our chief guest for the evening, Shri Hardeep, Union Minister for Petroleum and Natural Gas, Shri Puri, a distinguished diplomat, brings over 40 years of experience in public service and international relations. His notable roles, including serving as India's permanent representative to the United Nations and chairing critical UN Security Council committees. His impactful leadership in urban development, housing, and petroleum and natural gas sectors has been pivotal in advancing India's growth and global stature. We are deeply grateful to have him with us again, reflecting the government's ongoing commitment to promoting entrepreneurship and support innovative solutions. Social entrepreneurship is a global phenomenon, and India has the largest number of them in the world, providing a fertile ground for these entrepreneurs. This year marks the 15th anniversary of our collaboration with SWAP Foundation and social entrepreneurship. I extend our deepest gratitude to Hilde and Cross SWAP for their unwavering dedication and vision. Their efforts have been instrumental in creating a global platform that recognizes and supports exceptional social entrepreneurs. Over the years, we have reviewed more than 2,100 diverse applications from across, and we have witnessed transformative power for social entrepreneurship and its positive societal impact. Entrepreneurship, impacting about 1.5 million people across 12 states, covering more than 700 villages in India. I am happy to announce today the establishment of the Jubilant Bhartiya Center of Social Impact. This center, with the support of SWAP Foundation, will nurture emerging innovators and entrepreneurs. Foster collaboration among social entrepreneurs and support social startups. We have partnered with IIM Ahmedabad Ventures for this center. This incubation center will offer resources, mentorship, provide networking opportunities with world-class facilities. I am also delighted to mention that Jubilant Bhartiya Group has signed the Rise Ahead Pledge, the new initiative of World Economic Forum and SWAP Foundation for Social Entrepreneurs. The Rise Ahead Pledge is a commitment towards increasing investment into social innovation. Jubilant Bhartiya Group has become the first Indian company to sign this pledge.
Once again, thank you very much for being here. Professor Schwab, Mrs. Schwab, Shyam and Hari Bhartiya, it is a pleasure to be back here this evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great honor that we're here with you tonight to celebrate the social entrepreneurship of three remarkable individuals. It is that time of the year, which by the way is one of my favorite evenings. I look forward to it because we celebrate impact makers, change makers, the remarkable individuals we cheer this evening. May not always make headlines or trend on social media, but their work speaks volumes where it truly matters in the lives of the people that they touch and the communities that they uplift. Entrepreneurship is first about taking a bet on yourself and then making making choices to create a world that they wish to see. The leaders that we celebrate here this evening embody the true values of entrepreneurship. In fact, to echo Nelson Mandela's wisdom, it always seems impossible until it is done, and these gritty individuals are turning the impossible into reality by placing people and purpose at the center of their endeavors. They address pressing issues such as integrating women into the economy, developing tech solutions for individuals with disabilities, and providing elite education opportunities to students from underprivileged backgrounds. Their work represents a bold reimagining of how we can build a fairer and more inclusive future. At CNBC TV18, we have taken great pride in having shared the stories of many of these trailblazers over the past 2 decades, and we're deeply grateful to the Schwab Foundation and the Jubilant Bhartiya Foundation for partnering with us to focus on things that really should matter, with the single-minded objective of empowering the citizen. This year is particularly special for us as CNBC TV18 celebrates its 25th year of delivering on the promise of providing credible, actionable information that can help people make better choices. For 25 years, we've remained India's most watched and most trusted news brand, a responsibility and a privilege that we take very seriously. For us, business news is not just about the P&L of a corporate entity, but it is about the balance sheet of the country, where we focus on the assets that will drive India's growth forward and try and find ways to address the liabilities that may constrain her growth as well. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the change makers that we honor tonight, the dreamers and the doers of the Social Entrepreneur Awards 2024. It is my great pleasure to present our first change maker at the 15th Social Entrepreneur of the Year Awards. The underrepresentation of women in India's economy presents a severe socio-economic challenge and a missed opportunity, with McKinsey Global Institute estimating a potential addition of 700 billion to the GDP if gender parity is achieved. However, India ranks 129th out of 146 countries in the Global Gender Gap Index 2024, particularly when it comes to women's economic participation. Tonight, Aspire for Her addresses this disparity by building a powerful ecosystem to encourage and support women in entering and staying in the workforce. With a vision to impact over 1 million women and contribute $5 billion to India's GDP by 2025, Aspire for Her uses innovative strategies and partnerships to drive systemic change and promote gender equality in the workplace. Their innovative mindset change model, robust community building initiatives, and partnerships with major global organizations aim to create a ripple effect, transforming the gender equation in Indian workplaces and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the Aspire for Her story.
I was deeply disturbed with the gender data that I saw emanating from India. In economic participation, we're close to the bottom out of 146 countries in terms of the global gender gap index. That's the reason why Aspire for Her was formed, to unleash the true potential of women in our country. Today we have built 23 communities. We have crossed 500,000 of the total community size. In fact, we are touching 600 houses today. Not alone. This was a community of women who had lost their primary breadwinners to COVID. Today, all of them are financially independent.
मेरे हस्बैंड बायो मल्टीनेशनल सेल्स कंपनी में जॉब करते थे, तो उनकी कोविड की वजह से उनकी डेथ हो गई। तो ऐसी सिचुएशन में मैं बहुत डिप्रेशन में गई। पर कुछ दिनों के बाद बायो कंपनी में के एचआर वगैरह है, उन्होंने हमसे कांटेक्ट किया और उनके थ्रू एस्पायर फॉर हर के जो मेंटर है, उन्होंने एक मेंटर साइन किया। कॉल पे बात होने के बाद उनके मैंने कुछ सेशंस अटेंड किए, जैसे ग्रुप सेशंस थे। उससे मुझे इंस्पिरेशन मिला और आज 6 साल में मैंने 178 स्टूडेंट को पढ़ाया है।
We also have a special community called entrepreneurial. We want women not just to be job seekers, but also to be job creators. At the beginning, we help them translate their dreams into reality, build a business model with them, and help them actually launch their
Programs effectively barring them from opportunities to break the cycle of poverty. This issue is compounded by the fact that STEM graduates earn twice as much and are twice as likely to find stable employment when compared to their non-STEM counterparts. In contrast, only 1 in 6 students from government schools choose science when compared to over 60% in private schools. Avanti Fellows tackles this disparity by partnering with government schools to provide free, high-quality tutoring and test preparation to students through grade 9 to 12. Their programs include online academic resources and intensive in-person instruction, prioritizing high-achieving students from marginalized backgrounds with a special focus on girls. In the 2023-24 academic year, Avanti impacted over 150,000 students with more than 25%
to engage in the activity of nation building, and that just seemed like a false promise if the majority of the Indian population was not represented in a free or close to free or heavily government funded public institution like IIT. Majority of our best talent is in rural areas who can in 10 years, 15 years be part of India's leadership, and all of this talent every single year gets used. And to meet these children, you start to realize that they simultaneously embody, I think, extreme drive, right? And there's something quite magical about seeing that level of ambition.
मेरा नाम सोनम है, मैं कक्षा 10वीं की छात्रा हूँ। मैं बढ़िया को एक साइंटिस्ट बनना चाहती हूँ, क्योंकि जो एक टेक्नोलॉजी है जो हमारे देश को आगे बढ़ा सकती है।
मेरा नाम सचिन है, मैं राजकीय मध्य विद्यालय में पढ़ता हूँ, मैं 10वीं कक्षा में। मैं इंजीनियर बनना चाहता हूँ। पढ़ाई की वजह से मेरे पापा इंजीनियर नहीं बन सके, इसलिए मैंने ये ठाना है कि मैं मेरे पापा का सपना पूरा करूँ और मैं भी इंजीनियर बनूँ।
मेरा नाम पलक है, मैं कक्षा 10वीं की छात्रा हूँ। मैं बड़े होकर साइंटिस्ट बनना चाहती हूँ। साइंटिस्ट इसलिए बनना चाहती हूँ क्योंकि हमारे सर ने एक वीडियो दिखाया था चंद्रयान 2 पे, वहाँ पे कुछ लेडी थी, वो उसके ऊपर काम वगैरह कर रही थी, तो मेरे को हौसला मिला उनसे और मैं साइंटिस्ट बनना चाहती हूँ।
If you look at the Indian public school system, there's about 5 million children who graduate in science every year. Out of those children, barely 100,000, barely 1 lakh, right, out of 50 lakh children, will actually go into what we would call a category 1 top tier STEM institution, a good engineering college, which has IIT, medical architecture school, agriculture school. And the gap between them and a child who goes to a private school is almost 1:10. And it is this inequity that one of the government tries to pay.
Is addressing this need by developing affordable, innovative, assistive technologies that have already empowered over 150,000 individuals with disabilities through tools like the Sarthi Smart Mobility. Initiatives have reached over 10,000 people, including special education teachers and caregivers, equipping them with skills to support inclusive education and employment opportunities. By collaborating with NGOs, healthcare providers and government bodies, Torchit is not only delivering transformative technology but also advocating for policies that foster a more inclusive society with the goal of positively impacting 10 million individuals by 2030. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the Torchit story.
There are a billion population who are suffering with some kind of a disability. There is 1 in every 7 people. If we talk about India, our 70 million population who are visually impaired, they are coming from low income settings. Because of this, they cannot afford the solutions which are available in the village. So the idea of crossing bonds with a deep in-person commitment to change the reality. So while I was in my internship, social internship, I saw the problem of visually persons suffering with day-to-day mobility, and the right cane is only detecting the ground level objects, and he faced an accident and he got 6 stitches. That inspired me to make some product for our visually friends so they can walk independently. So this is how the Torchit bomb with actually a torch. I removed the LEDs of torch and put the ultrasonic sensor. And I made a first prototype. That IoT-based solution help a visually person to walk. If there is anything in front of them, it can vibrate, and our visually friends can get to know if there is something, so they can walk walking into that obstacle. Today, hundreds of thousands of people are walking independently with Sakti device. So while I was running those people, they are asking like Sakti is very helpful in terms of their independent mobility. And can we get to like what is in front of us? So we created this Jyoti smart AI glasses. With this Jyoti AI glasses, a visually person can actually see through the sound. It will tell them what is in front of them. Is there any object? They can also identify the colors, currency, and they can also see the same description. Then the braille books are not available. They are depending on the audio books, which is not accurate in terms of education. So this Jyoti, this allows them to go to the library, pick any book, and you can able to read like any other second individual. Now we are working for all kind of other disabilities like physical disability, handicap, locomotive impaired, hearing impaired, cognitive impaired. So the idea of Jubilant has come into the picture. So Jubilant is all-in-one solution for inclusion, where we have more than 700 solutions for all kind of disability. Project today impacting more than 300,000 people in 40 plus countries. We have partnered with more than 500 plus NGOs, organizations who are working in this person with disability field. With this NGO partners are not just helping persons with disability in the tier 1, tier 2 cities, but they are also going down to the especially districts like in Dimapur, Nagaland, or some village in Madhya Pradesh. We have 120 visually impaired micro entrepreneurs who are on the ground, who are working for us, and they are also getting extra income with associated with project. And they are just not selling or marketing our products, they are also providing a training. Everyone regardless of their physical or cognitive abilities. These are the right
Part of the evening, this is an evening that truly leaves me moved, inspired, wanting to do more, and I hope that you walk away with exactly those same emotions and those feelings. Let's keep the applause going, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Madhura, and congratulations once again. And finally, could we have Hani Bhagchandani of Torchit join us up on stage as well? And it is that time of the evening that we've all been waiting for. The envelope has been passed on to Mrs. Hilde Schwab to do the honors. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the 2024 Social Entrepreneur of the Year. Mrs. Schwab, over to you.
So this is very hard. Because I have been in the jury, and I know the jury had a very hard time to find out who is, I don't want to say the best, but we had to choose one winner, which doesn't mean that the other excellent social entrepreneurs will not have a good time and can profit from this. So the winner is Akshay Saxena.
Congratulations, Akshay, and we would like to hear a few words from you before we let you go.
First of all, honorable jury, Minister Saab, and the foundations, both Schwab and Jubilant Bhartiya, thank you so much for putting on this event. I feel that the limelight you bring to our work not just mine, but everyone who's part of this platform is incredibly important. And hopefully it can inspire others to do the same work. I think as remarks, I'd just like to say a few things. One is my entire life was transformed by one exam. And while that doesn't seem fair, I think it's the reality for many people in this room. And I think through our work now over the last decade and a half, what I've been able to see is the incredible things young people do when you believe in them. I keep repeating that we need to have higher aspirations for our young people. Aspirations that go beyond them finding work or getting by, but the aspiration for all of them to have the opportunity to lead the country. And in our small way, and I think through the work of many, many others, I feel like we are closer to doing that than we were a decade ago. And I think with technology and progress and political will, we can get to the point where not just the leaders in Silicon Valley, but the leaders in India and many other countries in the world come from India and come from rural India and are women from rural India. And I think thank you so much for honoring our work. It's less about me, I genuinely believe, and so much about all of the community and family that has brought us here. And I hope that we can, do justice to your faith and help and make sure that the next, maybe in a decade or even sooner, there is a social entrepreneur standing on the stage that comes from a low-income family in rural India. Thank you.
Chief guest for this evening, Sri Hardeep Singh Puri, who's back with us after 5 years here at the Social Entrepreneur of the Year Awards. It's always a pleasure to hear you, sir, and it's always a pleasure to see you. May I request you to please say a few words.
Professor Klaus Schwab, Madame Hilde Schwab, Shyam and Hari Bhartiya ji, my friends Ajay Khanna and Shireen Bhan, so many dignitaries and representatives of the media fraternity, friends and colleagues. I think it would be an understatement if I were to say that I'm very happy to be here on the 15th anniversary of these awards. I think one of you just whispered that I was here 5 years ago as well. So it is out of respect for the work that is done in the area of social entrepreneurship that I am here again today. And I think I speak on behalf of all of you that the three winners that we saw, the three presentations we saw, they were all impactful to say the least. I mean, the issue of gender empowerment, equipping our young girls to carve out careers and to do it in the kind of numbers that I saw is truly impressive. Also, I think it's not just the award which is won in this particular case after due deliberations by the jury, but the statement it makes that the area of empowerment, in this case equipping young ladies, young girls to become productive members of society and into the profession, I think that process itself constitutes a very powerful statement. Equally, I think that if you are looking at assistive technologies, and I kept asking one of the winners, I said, apart from, using sensors on walking sticks and special glasses, and his answer was truly humbling as far as I'm concerned. He said, we have 700 solutions. So you look at the scale of the work which is being done. You have technology, but you need to adopt that technology to provide assistance to those who are in need of it. And in the process, you not only enrich society, but you ensure that civil society performs a function which only civil society can, which only NGOs and social entrepreneurs. Governments will do their work, and I'll come to that in a minute. And I think we have a pretty good record there too. but it is that complementary or supplementary support which is provided in these areas which is truly remarkable. Then taking STEM education to, those of our children who, by virtue of the fact that they attended a stream of schooling which was less fortunate, let me put it this way. But as the presentation showed, the true talent is actually in the rural areas. I mean, there is talent in the semi-rural urban areas as well. But to equip them, I think that provides for even more satisfaction. And then maybe I'm growing old and therefore I tend to sneak this in somewhere. I was very happy that the oil and gas companies are also assisting in this effort. And when I asked one of them, I won't share, what could be a commercial listing, but said, no, they're getting full support. And I want to take the opportunity that if there is some support which you think should be forthcoming and is not, I'd be very happy to put in my word to and my margin of persuasion to ensure that you get more assistance from corporate social responsibility, not only for the efforts here, but for social entrepreneurship overall. And I think that is what makes for a very positive process in terms of how you take forward. And I also want to, I see a former member of my fraternity sitting here. These companies made an after-tax profit of 1,59,000 crores, I think profit after tax. So I think if they utilize 2% of that for CSR, I think that this is a very worthy area of support. But I also want to, maybe this is again another aspect, and then I'll go back to the subject. I've been an admirer of Professor Schwab's work for much longer than most of you have known him. I had the privilege of being posted to the Permanent Mission of India in Geneva almost, God knows how many, 1981. That's a long time ago. And those days, Professor Schwab had many admirers, but it was not called the World Economic Forum, but if I remember correctly, it was called the European Management Forum. And I had the privilege of knowing Professor Schwab, and I think some of us suggested to him long back that if you have to woo the successful commercial corporate entities of the world, why do you want to confine yourself to the European capitalist world? Why don't you make it a global? And I've seen the rise of the forum, and I'm so happy that you are here in India, and your work continues to be admired in so many ways, and I'm sure that has been expressed to you not only at the dinner last night by my colleagues in the cabinet, but also by whomever you meet here. Now, social enterprises and collectives have, I think, been a part of the fabric of Indian life for a very long time. Social enterprises typically cater to sectors that matter to low-income communities, most notably agriculture, financial inclusion, water and sanitation, health and education, and clean energy. And many of our programs, I mean, if you just cite one that I'm personally familiar with, which is to provide clean cooking gas to our households, is a case in point. The Honorable Prime Minister in the year 2016, if I remember correctly, introduced the Ujjwala scheme, which is to provide a free cooktop and 1 or 2 cylinders to each household that would qualify under an established criteria, and there are, I think 14 or so according to which you could. Basically, people who live below the poverty line or who are economically weaker section, so described. And having started in 2016, the scheme today has been extended to 10 crore 33 lakh people. And we have almost everyone covered, and the Honorable Prime Minister's line all along has been that if there is someone who's been left aside, we'd be happy to consider that, provided that this is done on the basis of verification, etc. And I can tell you, when the scheme started, there were some cynics In our political system, we produce them in greater quantity than in most other systems. And people said, well, you know, there were cylinders given out. No, I used to tell my friends, I said, when you guys in the power, there were no gas cylinders. The total number of cylinders in 2014 was 14 crores. Today we've taken that figure up to 33 crores and climbing. And Ujjwala has largely gone to rural communities and the poorer sections of the rural communities. And today we did a calculation the other day, the cost of clean cooking gas as against the coal and kerosene and wet wood that were used earlier. Today the cost of cooking for one family for one day comes to just 5 rupees. And these are the Ujjwala beneficiaries. But if you look at the non-Ujjwala beneficiaries also, it comes to only 12 rupees. Where in the world do you provide cooking gas? First of all, they don't have LPG cylinder, most parts of the world. There's an enterprising businessman from Gujarat, I think from Ahmedabad, who hit on the idea that since African countries don't have LPG, and LPG comes from a refinery. I mean, it comes from, crude oil, and if you refine it, unlike natural gas which is extracted. So he decided to sell 1 million cooktops to Kenya, and he decided to import 93 octane ethanol from Brazil. So it's a brilliant solution. I mean, they solved their green cooking problems, and here you had clean energy solved with a major boost. So I'm just providing that as an example. There have been some social development enterprises which have done very well. Some examples are Amul in Anand, Gujarat, Kudambashri Network in Kerala received a lot of prominence. It cannot be overstated enough that social enterprises have played a crucial role in the upward mobility of millions of Indians over the years. There are 2 million social enterprises, and this figure is growing quickly. The estimated market opportunity and potential for social enterprises in India is estimated to be around $8 billion or Euro 7 billion by next year. According to the Impact Investors Council, around 600 impact enterprises alone affect 500 million lives in India. And I think what you saw today on what was being not acknowledged but celebrated is a very small microcosm of what is actually happening in society, especially amongst these underprivileged, I choose my words carefully, communities, but which are showing massive upward mobility if you look at the impact of these schemes. There is also increased investor interest in India's social enterprises. The average deal size for social impact investments grew from $7.6 million to about 17.6 million between 2010 and 16. So there is acknowledgement in the corporate world on the scalability. So impact is one thing. You can always come up with priorities. You want to move away from fossil fuels, you want to provide wash, health and sanitation, etc. But then people are coming forward, and it's also an economic opportunity. So when I see highly successful international entities like the Schwab Foundation, and I want to congratulate Shyam and Hariji, you are also putting in a very strong dose. You announced, by the way, the establishment of a center today. So I think that deserves a round of applause, because that is further momentum to be provided. The Social Stock Exchange is a pioneering initiative of the Modi government, and it aims at providing social enterprises with enhanced visibility and access to capital. The SSC offers a platform for these enterprises to attract investment, measure their social impact, and demonstrate their effectiveness in addressing societal issues. Over 20 social enterprises have already been listed on that exchange. I want to take a moment to talk about social enterprises and solutions that cater to persons with disabilities. I was pleased to note that one of the shortlisted solutions for today's award focuses on increased inclusion for persons with disabilities through assistive technologies. And as I mentioned in my interaction with a gentleman who is being celebrated today, when I asked him, apart from this, how many other kind of solutions you had, and he gave me the answer of saying 700. So, I mean, that is the range and scale of work that is being done, and I think we collectively owe a great sense of gratitude to people to work to help those persons with disabilities. We in India expanded the list of recognized disabilities from 7 to 21 after the landmark Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act, which was promulgated by the Modi government in 2016. The new census will give a truer picture of the number of persons living with disabilities in the country. It is estimated that nearly 70% of those who need assistive technology do not have access to it in India, which means the scope for work in using assistive technologies for people who have disabilities and to help them lead productive lives in spite of those disabilities is a massive scale and a scope, and I am glad that this is being addressed in a focused manner. The lack of accessibility increases their vulnerabilities and curtails their access to transport services, sanitation, health, education and other public services. I can tell you with a degree of pride that during the 7 years that I was Housing and Urban Affairs Minister, we enacted this into law that if you have to construct a building, then it has to be user-friendly for people with disabilities. So instead of stairs, you have ramps, you have all kinds of other facilities, and that is also a reflection of the increased awareness of the need to do so. The Modi government has continually demonstrated its efforts to promote disability inclusion. Some notable examples include the Sugamaya Bharat campaign, also known as the Accessible India campaign, which was launched in 2015, and the implementation of the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act and rules in 2017. Over 43 lakh UDID cards or unique disability ID cards have been issued to persons with disabilities. Nearly 150,000 persons have benefited from skill development initiatives. The Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, which I was associated with for 7 years, created the harmonized guidelines for universal design of space standards for India in 2019. These guidelines move away from the narrow interpretation of barrier-free environments to a broader concept of universally designed spaces. I want to conclude by saying that the partnership between corporate entities, foundations and social enterprises is essential for advancing our shared goals. I congratulate the collaboration between the Schwab Foundation for Social Entrepreneurship and the Jubilant Bhartiya Foundation, which exemplifies how combining resources, expertise and passion can lead to important solutions for societal change. To all the finalists and participants, all I can say is that your work is truly inspiring. I am confident that your efforts will continue to make a profound impact as it is already, and I urge the youth to draw inspiration from the social entrepreneurs here and choose paths that will shape both the future and the future of our country. Many, many thanks. Thank you very much.
My dear friends, Harry and Shyam, and of course, I'm so proud to be here together with the social entrepreneurs. And my congratulations to the winners or to the finalists, but I know we have many more social entrepreneurs here in the room. So who is a social entrepreneur? Please raise your hand. Big applause for you. And thank you very much, Minister, reminding us how long the relationship between India and the World Economic Forum is in existence. Over 40 years. And actually, I created the World Economic Forum with the notion that the business of business is not business. The business of business is to serve society. And you, the social entrepreneurs, you are the pioneers of this concept. And not just idealists, you are a very important part of modern economies. speaking about modern economies, and I have to express my appreciation, Minister, to you and, of course, the Prime Minister, the government. When you came to Davos, actually India was not on the global map. And today we know India is on its way to become fast the third largest economic power in the world. But we should not forget, we are in the midst of a deep technological revolution. And I think we have seen even examples when we look how to help the blind of such a technological revolution. We are moving from the industrial age to the intelligent age. And this is a transition with similar or even more drastic implications on how we live, how we work, how we communicate, compared to the transition we had when we moved from a more agricultural society to what we are now, a more industry and service-based society. To find jobs, and as far as I know, the figure for India is to create over 100 million jobs until new jobs until the year 2030. At the same time, we have to reskill and upskill people who are in the existing positions, because technology will change everything. Now, this is a new era for social entrepreneurs, because you have new capabilities, as we have seen today, with the new technologies, with the technologies of the fourth industrial revolution. So I see a flourishing time for social entrepreneurship. You are the link between social entrepreneurship will be even more important in the world to come. It's a very important part of society. And actually, the World Economic Forum, the organization which I have created over 50 years ago, is today the International Organization for Public-Private Cooperation. We can solve the challenges, and particularly the challenges of employment, also the challenges of the environment.
Hardeep ji, Hilde, Klaus, we have all our jury members here, friends, all the social entrepreneurs who are present here. These were the three very remarkable social entrepreneurs. Must have been a very tough choice for the jury members whom to give this award. Akshay, one person that you through STEM brings to, let's say, to IIT, he creates a new leader who creates a new set of impacts. As you rightly said, a lot of them come from the rural areas. And Madhura, who has already placed almost 1,000 placements. So each placement you impact a huge, the whole family in terms of and you told me the numbers are increasing every week. To give dignity to each person, honey, it makes a huge impact. As you rightly said, 70% of the people, you mentioned the data, that don't have supportive equipment, especially for the handicapped. So congratulations to all the winners for and especially to Akshay to get the award today. A sincere thanks to all the innovators.